It is Your Image, your public relations program. We are back this week to continue our program, and the topic is 2023 and the search for leadership. Which way forward? Last week, I had with me Dr. Simon Otumala, along with Dr. Eriosho, and also Prince Oke Oyede. They've been very brilliant in their submissions, and at a particular point in time, we have to stop on the issue of participation. Participation is key in engendering full cooperation, understanding, and stabilization of the polity. It is when everybody is involved that we can now have a peaceful election. We can now be able to choose a leader that we can call our own, and a leader that we also have taken our interest into action, and will now be able to implement the desires of the populace. So, gentlemen, we are back once again to discuss the topic. Dr. Tumala, we stopped at the issue of participation. How do we ensure that a process where genuine participation is developed comes up? When I'm talking about participation, I'm talking about gender issues where women, youth, everyone can be involved, professionals can be involved, business people can be involved, even community people can also have a take in that decision-making process. And of course, when we have our leaders, they are the ones who are supposed to get all those inputs enshrined into the legislative articles and materials that we need. So, which way forward?
Thank you, viewers, and thank you for this time again. Now, last week I was talking about the participation process being altered by our political actors, and I mentioned the fact that the youth, women, disabled had become almost non-existent in the political process. Now, the percentage, if we look at from executive, legislature, if we look at the percentage of women and youth compared to the other age grade, we discover that it's a far cry from what is expected. And the reason is very simple. The reason is simple because the requirements for being a part, a major part, because participation are of levels. We have the active participants, like major actors in decision making, like members of the legislature, whether Senate, House of Reps, House of Assembly, or governors, as the case may be. And we also know the age of the president. Now, if you now compare that and begin to expect that within the reality of a youth or a woman, let me also put this straightforward. We know that it is almost impossible for us to have a woman president in Nigeria. There's no doubt about that.
Why?
Because we run a patriarchal system of government. It is established across board. There is no level of agitation or pushing in current times that will help us salvage that situation.
Does that mean that we do not have women with substance, with all that it takes to handle this? Look at Okonjo Iweala.
The presence of women of quality and substance. You mentioned Okonjo Iweala, and women blazing the trail across sectors of life is not in doubt. But the nature of the political system, which is very practical, without being immodest, without hiding behind the finger, has pitched these youth and women onto the other side of the divide. It is a reality that we can't hide from. Now, we even see it to the point that when political parties want to sell nomination form, they say expression of interest for women free. Nomination form, so a particular percentage reduced for the youth and for the women.
So why are they not taking the advantage of that?
But when they buy the form, we also know that in practical times, the reality of their emergence is almost non-existent. We should not hide from that fact. It is not being theoretical, it is being practical. So the problem now resides with the fact that those people who are the major stakeholders across party lines. Now, if we have independent candidates with the strength, with the structure, who has contributed significantly and had registered his or her name on the sounds on time and history, they can make appreciable progress. But with the present structure that we have on ground, we're not saying that we're not going to have good leaders in Nigeria, but that we are going to relegate a particular section of the society, women, youth, is a major challenge.
Well, I accept your take, but I am still concerned. And, you know, that takes me to Dr. Abeokuta. With the people in your group, talking about the non-governmental organizations, because I know you are also a gender advocate, and I know that there are other non-governmental organizations, civil society organizations in the country who are also part of monitoring the election, coming up with decisions that will help to change the scenario. So why are they still, I don't want to say lukewarm, in ensuring that they get Nigeria on stream along with the other clans?
Well, it's a work in progress. Like they used to say.
So how soon will the actual work start?
Rome was not built in a day.
Okay.
Nigeria, like they call it, it's a nonsense democracy. Since 1999.
How long will you continue
I think
to be
that's
nonsense?
about 23 years if my mathematics is right. If you have a child, 23-year-old in your house, I'm sure by now you'll be expecting, if it's a woman, to go to her husband's house. So you'll have seen that she must have been matured enough. So if you still call it nascent at 23, then we still have a lot of work to do. Because by now, things ought to have been on the right track. But it's like we are deviating here, deviating
So
here.
what should we do to make us to be on the right track?
Like he said, it's like a film. You have producer, you have directors, and you have the actors. So it is whatever the producer asks you or the director asks you to act at that particular. Even if you have your script with you, and the director said no, don't act it that way, act it this way. You just have to follow. So it's like the directors are so many and they are so powerful. So whatever you give to them, even if they have that idea, I say, oh, it is not that reports have not been given. Every elections that have ever taken place on the soil of this land, the reports were given. Violence, snatching of ballot boxes, it has not stopped. It still happens, even now on high rise, increasing incidences of all these atrocities that have been committed at election points. So I think, like he said, we need to increase involvement because if you, like I remember El-Rufai when this issue of not too young to rule was coming up, he said, nobody's going to give you power freely. So you have to struggle. You have to we cannot say because we are youth, I say, yeah, come and take it. Only you struggle to collect it. And I think that is in accordance with what is written somewhere in the Bible.
So you did?
So,
you know, when we are looking at, in fact, if I have to juxtapose what Dr. Rachel has just said, because he has tilted the problem to your side, saying that the issue of vote ballot snatching and the other manipulative tendencies that is common. Do we have older people doing this? That is one question.
Okay.
Number two, when you look at the purpose for which the Youth Council was established, and along the line, it is supposed, and I know that you must mainstream yourself along with the NGOs, with the professionals, because you have so many professionals within your right, and you are very vociferous, you are very active, you can engender active participation, you are a loud voice in the nation. Why and what can you people do? Because you own the future, you own the future, and for as long as we continue to have this culture of silence, and we allow other age group to continue to dictate and do all that, we are not saying that they cannot be in the political space, but the thinking ability, the creative ability is with your group. So in essence, why and what should you be doing in collaboration with other groups to ensure that we change this political landscape to benefiting Nigerians?
Thank you so much, sir. First, from my own personal point of view, I believe this is not a battle of age grade. This is not a fight between the young and the old. Okay. Because this nation belongs to everybody, both male and female, both young and old. But as youth organization or youth groups, what we are clamoring for is increased and improved participation in active determination of some of these things that affect all of us. Because we believe we are cerebral enough. Some of us have the required experience. I believe almost everybody seated here, we are averagely youths, and we have excelled in our different fields. Which, if we go back to history of the country when Nigeria started, a lot of our leaders started as youths. If a young president can be able to navigate this country during the civil war at that age, I believe a lot more youths are excelling in other countries of the world that are Nigerians, that can effectively take Nigeria to the greater heights. When he was speaking, he mentioned something which I would like to correct, that none of the parties has reduced nomination form or given a percentage for the youth. It only affects the women. So, no, you mentioned it, that the female and the youth, it is just the female that has some percentage reduction in their nomination form. So the youths are now clamoring so that we can be able to take advantage of that. You know, you cannot be an answer if you are not part of the option. So if you don't buy nomination forms, if you don't engage, which is what we are encouraging a lot of ourselves, because we have active and passive participation politically. We are encouraging more to get actively involved. Along with that campaign, we are encouraging youth to desist from violence, electoral violence, when it's time of election, and to also clamor for...
so who do we blame for all this electoral violence?
It's a societal problem, like I always said. It's a society...
Which your group cannot resist.
The youth, we are working hard at it. Even when there is no statistics that state that it's the youth that is fighting here, it's the old men that is fighting here. It's just an assumption. Okay.
Let me take you up again. When you look at the recent developments in the rate at which youth have been empowered, have been engaged by government, talking about appointments, yes, talking about entrepreneurship development, talking about small-scale enterprises development and all that, can the youth still complain that they don't have the wherewithal to occupy the space, political space?
So like I said, there is a difference between active and passive participation. Some of those things that you mentioned, I believe, are entrepreneurship, they are business-wise, they are not the politics that we think can change some of the what we complain about our country. Because like I said, in my own personal belief, I believe the political system controls everything. So if we want to change it, we have to be involved. So having empowerment programs, entrepreneurship programs is one of those things that we are clamoring for, and we are getting it. But we believe when we have more of us in the right positions, we can give more, and we can even contribute more, not just receive. We can give more to this country, because we love this country so much.
Let me quickly come up with a narrative. The former U.S. President, Barack Obama, if you look at the way he marched, I read one of his books, I've forgotten the title now, and he was narrating how he started mobilizing in the local environments, how he was empowering people, how he was giving them ideas, how he was connecting them to several authorities to change their psyche, their level of thinking, and then putting them, solving some of their issues. And that earning, that recognition and relevance to the extent that he went into the Senate and he also got the presidency of the United States of America. Can't the youth be thinking of that scenario? Must they be spoon-fed?
Thank you so much, sir.
I'm not being hard on you.
No, I'm enjoying it, sir. American politics is different from Nigerian politics. And like he's also said that every politics is local. If you call on our leaders that presently are the aims of affairs and tell them to write autobiography or tell you how they emerged, how they started, everybody has one or two stories to tell. Their story of struggling, of mobilizing, everybody has mobilized. Everybody has worked hard to get to where they are. So, but we are clamoring more for good people. People there too are good people. There are more of the good people, the good ones too, so that we can fight against corruption, we can fight against nepotism, and a lot of social vices that are affecting the growth of this country. So that Barack Obama in America is mobilizing, has mobilized. We have youths too that are mobilizing extensively, like the female contestants in the coming election. I wish her the very best. She's also mobilizing. Even the main contenders that we all know, they are also mobilizing. So victory belongs to God alone.
Dr. Tumala, when are we going to get to that situation where an individual with his or her integrity, with his or his level of expertise, connection, will dominate the political space? I ask this question because I've forgotten the name of a woman in that particular country who started mobilizing, moving up and down, and at the particular point in time, she got elected.
I've forgotten that country in South America.
Aha.
It's a country in South America.
So, if we have that scenario, what is happening to us in Nigeria? Can you tell us how we can approach that kind of development to engender a new way of stabilizing this nation and progressing, and then getting people who can be the power behind that person?
The first thing you asked is when. I think we are more than ready. This should be the appropriate time, because if we look at Nigeria left, right, and center, the issues are not converging. So the best time to have the aggressive mobilization. I can't remember that woman's name, but it's a country in South America. She had a whole lot of impact, that she was elected to the Senate and later became the head of state. So the best time is now. And that is why we're having this conversation, so that in 2023, we might say we are behind schedule, but we are not too behind schedule, because we still have about 13 to 14 months before the election cycle, and a whole lot of mobilization and issues can still come up. And the strength that is needed is, I have often advocated that there is a collective responsibility aspect of building Nigeria, and there is the individual aspect of building Nigeria. The Nigeria of our dream must start from us. It takes one person before it gets to 2, before it gets to 3, before it gets into 100 and 1,000. Because even the election results that get into 15 million, they'll start from counting 1. So if that is the case, and we understand the power of the individual, the dream, I've said it on this program one day, that when Martin Luther King said, "I have a dream," he was not talking about the dream of the now, those days. He was talking about a future that will come to materialize. But he fought that battle. Some other persons came on board and picked it up from there, and the dream of Martin Luther King became a reality. So the Nigeria of our dream in leadership through the political process can happen either actively or passively, either from the youth or from the aged, either from the women or from the men. But the sincere truth that is staring us in the face, that we must take into account, is that Nigeria needs leaders that are selfless, now more than ever before, so that beyond 2023, let me mention this. You didn't mention Aredele Momodu, as part of the people who have
No,
come
I
to
said and a host
a
of others.
host of others. He was on an interview that I took time to listen to. He said the owners of Nigeria has gone beyond the owners of Nigeria. We must come to understand that we, the electorate, including those who don't have the capacity to vote now because of age limitation, are the owners of Nigeria, and we must mobilize collectively to build the Nigeria of our dream.
I think we must develop beyond people owning Nigeria.
Yes.
Nigeria must be owned by all of us.
Yes.
It is to your image, and we are glad you are part of us. Dr. Enosho, let me come to your space medically. Now, Nigeria has not been able to get it all these years. And if you look at it, certain gains have been lost. Certain gains have been lost. And does this not affect our mental being?
Well, there is no way the situation in the country will not have effect on the mental being of the entire citizenry. But like they say, they call us the happiest people on earth.
Are we still the happiest people?
Well, according to the index, they still say we are. I don't know why it has to be like that. You know, we love to play a lot. Even in serious disaster, you see Nigerians turning difficult situation into jokes. And you see different memories coming out of it. So I don't know, maybe that is the reason why we are still lagging behind, because it's like all difficult situations can just be turned into jokes. And maybe that is why we are not seeing a lot of people coming into depression actually. Okay. Because the situation currently can teach anyone into
depression. Maybe that's why the youth too are not too eager to take the gauntlet and fight this battle. Yeah? Oh, you did? Does it mean that because you are happy people, you can't see the challenges that are ahead and then grapple with all the seriousness? That's a challenge to the youth.
So what I know about problem is when you lose focus, when you are unhappy, you lose focus, you make mistakes. So we are calm, we are tactical, and we are addressing the problem straight on the point.
Are you sure?
Yes.
It is your image, and my guests are saying that Nigeria has a future, a better future for that matter. And all that we need is for all of us to come together and then think together, come together and begin to direct the affairs by engendering full participation, by not ignoring every issue that needs our attention. Of course, it is me and you that can make Nigeria. Viewers, it is still your image, and this program is open for sponsorship. We are also interested in having advertisement to further enrich this program. Dr. Otumala, I want to thank you for being with us all the time that we always ask you to come. We are enjoying you, and we thank you for your resourcefulness.
Thank you, sir.
It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Dr. Enosho, I'm also happy that you are here. Thank God that we are overcoming the issue of COVID. I had you last when we were in a COVID scenario, and I'm glad that we are still alive. Even you are looking more robust than that time.
We thank God.
So when next we come, I hope you oblige us.
Surely.
My youth and the member of parliament, please come up with a good legislation.
I'm possible member of the bigger parliament.
No problem. So please, when we call on you next time, please oblige us.
Definitely, sir.
Viewers, it's been a wonderful time you are having with us. Thank you so much. We hope you'll be with us when next, that is coming Thursday, when we come with another topic for discussion. It is your image. I'll be glad to always be at your service. Thank you so much. Bye.